So let's go over the effect of shame rituals, right? So you'll see people in esoteric cults or esoteric societies will often have a shame ritual where some sort of dirty laundry is aired, or there's sort of a scandal that you're put through that just completely sabotages your reputation as a sane or a decent or a good person. Right, just something you can't really ever stand by again. Your ego or whatever, it's kind of let out there. And so this can happen naturally. You can do it to yourself sometimes, or in these other cases, these rituals, it's done in an extreme way, and the goal is to disassociate you from or free you from your investment in this character, to make you kind of disgusted by it or revolted by it, or at very least uninterested in it, or not something that has any social utility for you, right? It removes your reputation as a mask. You have to deal, once your reputation is destroyed, you have to deal with people directly, and it's kind of the only way to survive. So it forces that directness, and people consider that ability or that practice to be a type of awakening, where after you've done the humiliation ritual and you've been divorced from your character, or your character has been assassinated, then just to survive, it forces the awakening. And so all these different rituals are similar. They're doing the same things, just things that make you step back and outside of, and then people think that's discovering or finding the true nature of God or the true nature of self behind different veils and behind different masks. I guess imagine if you were somebody who was obsessed with Superman. Eventually you would want to know Clark Kent, I guess, and then after that you would want to know the actor who played Superman. You might be into that, and then who ultimately created Superman, who imagined this character. And so it's kind of this esoteric thing to where you break the veil of illusion, where it's Superman is Clark Kent or Clark Kent is Superman. There's a dualistic, depending on which one you know him as, there's this revelation of him as the other one as well. And then there's the revelation that both of those characters are played by a singular actor who is neither of them, and has a life that is mostly completely unrelated to Superman. Superman is just a part-time gig for this actor. And then for the creator, it's just literally kind of a figment of his imagination, or a picture that he drew and added a story to. And so that's why they do the initiation rituals, where they take the younger boys and they'll separate them from their moms and do these initiations where they're ripped out of childhood through trauma. You're sort of ripped out of childhood. And so ritual and initiation is an intervention. So are sacraments. It's an intervention to cause a process that should happen naturally, but if it doesn't happen naturally, then here's this ceremony, this ritual where the society causes it to happen, or the group causes it to happen, if nature is not going to cause it to happen. And obviously the nature initiations are usually more complete ish. Yeah, maybe. And so at certain ages you need to have gone through certain separations from the character in order to progress mentally or psychologically in a healthy way. And so there's if you're not in a violent culture, there's like sacraments of death, sacraments of experiencing death, rituals of experiencing death. If that experience isn't naturally sort of thrust upon you. And then there's different unbalanced ways of thinking of and seeing all this. Some people will do like anti-sacraments or reversal sacraments, sort of, it stops the process, right? You can go on hormone blockers or puberty blockers, for instance, would be like an inverted sacrament that stops the developmental process from happening when it would normally happen. That's what people use, like sex workers and sex priests and stuff like that, temple prostitutes, for. Like, there should be a breaking or a dissolving of the person into unity, and it's not happening, so they go there to cause it to happen. So all these things are like initiatory experiences, like the very deep ones, the ones that get like dark and super nasty, is like you're doing stuff that causes like massive disassociation from, I don't know, you could only call it light or goodness or awareness through transgression, right? You're making these massive transgressions that separate you further and further and further, which cause almost like an ascension over that baseline love, sort of that baseline being. Through transgression, you can rise up and out of it by acting, I guess, in the more extreme the unloving way, the more it's like a rocket fuel to go up. Right? The same pattern is in like all types of drug use or what have you, right? I guess. Heroin's like supposed to be this like massive rocket fuel to go up, right? But it's inherently like unloving. It's an unloving act towards the self, and that tremendous act of like non-love is somehow this rocket fuel to rise up and ascend and transcend over everything. And so people find that through whatever they call it, satanic ritual abuse. Satanic ritual abuse it's a drug. It's a drug. They're like heroin addicts, and because it causes them to rise up and super duper ascend. And what is that worth to people? It's worth a lot. They jones for it, like they scrounge. Right? You get addicted to that, and you start like scrounging for it. And then you're inherently like, you know, like a person addicted to drugs is like the least trustworthy person in a home. Right? So people can get addicted to this transcendence through transgression, and then, you know, oh my God. And so that's where you get these archetype or these caricatures that just get so horrendously evil, because it's like, if you could get addicted to a drug, or get addicted to sex, or get addicted to like winning, like any of these normal psychoses, and you become like sort of an unbalanced like asshole or something like that. But if you get addicted to a type of violence or a type of transgression or something, then oh my gosh, because then your passion or your thirst is like pretty bad to begin with, and then once you get addicted to it, all of the behavior around it starts to become worse and worse and worse and worse. Like a meth addict that's addicted to transgression, not just meth. But everyone experiences shame to a certain degree, so that's an easy ritual to understand in its effect, and you can see how extreme shame causes these certain things. So when you look at celebrities going through this, it almost looks like a show or a circus. It's like pretend. It's like a sacrament. It's a ritual of extreme shame, in that it's both real and it's a play. All this stuff where people are going, oh, it's a conspiracy and stuff like that. It's both real and acted. Like, it's the highest art, where you're acting, your play, your performance is reality, right? I think and that's the rush that all the maddening, like, 33 crowd is obsessed with, and that's the highest arts, where you're acting, like, your will, your script, the script you're performing, or your group is performing, the script your family is performing, so to speak. And they're tight like a football team is tight, or it's like a sport, any team, a troop, what do you call it? What's a group of dudes in the army? A gaggle? Like a gaggle of guys? Army guys? Tight. Lie, steat, and shield for each other, you know? Tight. And so then they'll do the ritualized performances to help mature the person's psychology or whatever, to whatever level, right? Not everybody becomes a priest or a monk or like a high level initiate, right? But a lot of people participate at lower and lower levels.